In this video, I'll give you a quick introduction to the structure of an Android project. We start off with our sample application DT4000, which will step by step evolve into the Digitron 4000, an application that is reminiscent of panels in sci-fi movies and series. So let's create a new Android project by one of the following three means. First, right-clicking into Package Explorer, selecting New, Other, Android Project, and Next. I cancel that one again. Second, by clicking on the menu File, New, Other, Android Project, and Next. Or third, which is my preferred way because it's the quickest, simply by clicking on the folder icon in the toolbar. As you can see, all the three means result in this dialog to be opened. Here I'll enter the project name, DT-4000. Next, we're supposed to define the build target. This is the version of the Android platform which we need for our application to run. As a rule of thumb, identify the highest API level you need for all of your application's functionality to work properly. For example, if you want to read sensors which are only available in Android versions 2.3.1 and higher, we place a check mark here. Unfortunately, that would mean that your application will only run in Android versions 2.3.1 and higher. To avoid this, you can specify a minimum SDK version, here in this field, min SDK version, and there you'll put the number of the minimum Android version you want to be supported, for example, 7. Keep in mind, though, that you're responsible for the application to degrade gracefully if you want to access functionality from higher API levels in lower Android versions. But that's not the focus of this video. Just take it as a friendly reminder. So next, we define an application name. I call this DT-4000. And then I define a package name, which is sort of an ID for our application on the device or emulator. I call it EU.AndroidTraining.DT4000. In the field Create Activity, I'll enter the name of the initial activity to be created by ADT. I call it main. This is the name of a Java class, so I follow the convention of capitalizing the name. Finally, I click on Finish. Our friendly reminder of the different SDK versions is restated by the Problems panel. So now I click on the little arrow before the project name to open the structure, and there you'll see an SRC, a source folder, containing a package name and a Java class, a gen folder containing again the package name and one Java class called R. This contains the Android code. We have an empty folder Assets and a resource folder RES, which contains 3 folders named Drawable, 1 folder Layout, and 1 folder Values. Let's open the Layout subfolder, double-click on main.xml, and as you can see, the Android project wizard has already created a simple layout for our initial activity. Now here it gets interesting. A click on this tab, main.xml, reveals that this is indeed simple and pure XML. No code, as you can see. If, on the other hand, you open main.java by double-clicking on it, you'll see, of course, that this only contains code. It's one of the nicest aspects of Android that it helps you separating code from layout completely. But how do those two get together? Let's first turn on line numbers. I'll right-click on this gray bar, click on Show Line Numbers. And here in line 11, you see that this activity is bound to this layout, or rather to something that seems to have something to do with the layout. And this is the auto-generated class R. Again, I'll open it by double-clicking on it. And here you can see within the class R, there are 4 internal classes. And as you can see, the class layout has a class property of main, which is set to a unique ID. So every time you save your changes in one of those XML files, it creates a unique ID for this file in this R class, which you can reference in turn in all your Java classes. So that's how the XML and the Java code are intertwined. And the thing you should keep in mind is that you reference your resource assets through the auto-generated class R. The last thing to have a look at is the Android manifest. And double-click on it to open it. Here everything is defined which concerns your application, like package name, version of your application themes and stuff, icons and such. You can also look at this in XML view. And here, for example, you can see that the activity main is defined as the main activity to be launched when the application is launched. And now you should have a basic understanding of the structure of an Android project.